Here's a video of Antigua Guatemala's contemporary art scene. I think you see a lot of videos about the ruins and some of the more uh, historical Mayan art in Antigua, but nobody really looks at the contemporary art scene, so I thought I would do a little video on that. The first place where they say it has contemporary art is at the Hotel Santo Domingo Museums. It's a five-star hotel in the middle of Antigua. Uh, it has several museums in there. They have Colonial Museum, Chocolate Museum, which I think is just a shop, really not a museum. And then you can wander the grounds. There's some ruins and stuff in there. The modern section of the museum, the first things that they had going on was this uh, looking at contemporary sculpture paired with its more Mayan historical sculpture. So it's a glass exhibit. They're looking at glass um, and copying some of the more historical Mayan sculpture with glass sculpture. It's a pretty big exhibit. Kind of interesting to see that. Uh, so I enjoyed that part of the museum. The next part of the museum is just one big room of some different art in there. They had some prints going on. Um, Looks like prints that you could probably buy on the street of Antigua. They also had some photographs going on in there as well. Same thing, the photographs I think you could buy at the artisan market over by the arch. They looked very similar to what they were selling there. Nothing really um, stood out, might be a good word. So yeah, I mean, it was okay. They also had some paintings down there, uh, some large paintings, and they also had some more traditional colonial pottery in there. They had this hallway with this exhibit from an artist. Again, I don't think it was anything spectacular, nothing I haven't seen before. So I usually try to find art that uh, might be a little more interesting, a little more uh, thought um, provocative, something to uh, make me think a little more. Another thing about this museum is they have stuff uh, up above that if you don't look up, you don't realize it's there. It's really kind of an odd way of displaying art. And then in part of the Colonial Museum, they have this area as well with some paintings in there. To get into the museum part of the hotel is like $7.50. I really don't think it was worth it. Um, but I mean, it's pretty. Other parts of the hotel, the reception area, they have some paintings there. There's some modern stuff going on there, and then and there's a hallway, like a service hallway, and they have uh, an art exhibit down there. Not lit very well at all. Here's some paintings. That I could take video of, but most of the paintings I couldn't because it was just too dark. The next museum was the La Nueva Fabrica. It's over in the Santa Ana. It's off the beaten path. It's a little museum. It's free and it's great. I highly recommend this museum. It'll probably take about an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours to go through. They've taken a couple chicken buses and turned them into a restaurant. So there is a restaurant there. The staff there is fantastic as well. So very friendly, very helpful. Um, some, I think, speak English, but not all. So just keep that in mind. Everything on the walls is in English and Spanish. Uh, they were having some different exhibits there. They also have a lot of video installations going on. Um, part of the exhibit was looking at some of the history and some of the um, uh, bad sides of Guatemala. Some of the more violent sides of Guatemala, um, and how they kind of experienced it and then coming through it. Uh, but I really did enjoy this museum. They had different exhibits going on. They had some fabric installations going on, some more textile installations. Like I said, video installations. Uh, the next thing here is some more traditional, modern take uh, on clothing, on stilts, stilt dancers, and uh, another video installation coming up. One of the video installations you really couldn't see very well, just because of the lighting at night. I think it would be fine, or if it was dark in there. But this wall here had a video installation, just couldn't see it very well. There's some more fabric type of stuff. Uh, there's some more weaving in a more contemporary aspect of things. Um, and then again, more fabric type of art. And then they had this little section over here where you can uh, make your own art with post-its, which is always kind of fun. You can write something or you can draw something. Um, so they had this wall of different color post-its and just a collection of people's thoughts, ideas, drawings. Uh, I didn't stop to read much of it. And then another video installation here. Like I said, it had a lot of video installations at this museum. Um, some more contemporary fabrics. You can take like a weaving classes in Antigua, and I thought about doing it. I just didn't get around to it. There's an exhibition on water, and how it relates, how people's relationship to water. So on the walls, there's different quotes, water is love or whatever. It's all in Spanish. But I thought this was kind of interesting. I spent a little bit of time in there. Then you have the crystal altars. So you have different figurines and stuff made out of crystals hanging up in the room there. And then they have fantastic photography exhibit. This exhibit is from a photographer slash collector. Uh, so uh, their collection basically. Um, but I spend some time in here. There's probably about 100 photos, maybe not that much. Uh, 70, maybe 50 to 70 photos in there, but all ranges from the 1800s to modern. I thought this was a great photography exhibit. Yeah, I enjoyed this exhibit a lot. Um, we'll just continue through it here. I kind of took video of all of it because I found it kind of interesting. And they had some smaller photos, but then they also had these large photos as well. Everything from portraits, landscapes, some of the earlier portraits from the early 1900s were pretty impressive. Um, some of these more minimalistic photos were beautiful. Um, this one I thought was great. A lot of shaker room, I think is what it was called. Another beautiful, more minimalistic photo. I spent a little more time on some of these that I enjoyed more. Some nice portraits again. Uh, I do enjoy portraiture. Uh, so they had some very nice portraits in the room. And then they had some paintings looking at some of the violent history um, of Guatemala here, violence against the more indigenous populations. So it's kind of an disturbing exhibition, um, but interesting. So looking at, torture and um, abuses of the indigenous people in Guatemala. And then Nunca Mas, nothing more. Uh, another video installation. Like I said, I love this museum. It's small, but I highly recommend finding and walking over. I walked over to it. It was a great little museum.